Are you worried about how squishy you might be though if you go for a range hero and army geniuses?
I mean, you're sort of squishy, but Slaughter and Phoenix can
10
both
seconds
be
remaining.
frontline for you. And anyway, the way Lina itemizes nowadays, you're not really that
5
squishy.
seconds
You go to
remaining.
this like fast BKB. You have the good health talent.
Trying to see how they can pick it. Is there even a capability of a cheesy hero for Mimang Dyer? Because he does, and we always see that. His
He likes
last pick,
Husker,
yeah, Huskar, like a
but Husker doesn't look that good. And Meepo could potentially be an option. If they run that, I'm not sure.
they do, yeah, they do run it.
Yeah, so Meepo could be
Radiant
decent.
team ban.
Especially with that new talent he gets on level 10. It's gonna Slaughter us a lot of
Dire
damage.
team pick.
Other than that, they could run like a mid Morphling if they wanted to. But I think just Death Prophet makes the most sense. It's good against Lifesteal, it's good against Timber. You don't care too much about Lion Grim.
10 seconds remaining.
It goes well with your lineup.
Radiant team pick.
Okay. More in the
Viper.
route of, I guess, dealing with the Timber Saw. Here with the Nether Toxin, they got a break, so
Do you need anything else to deal with him though? You
yeah,
already have
they've.
so many good heroes against him.
It is a. It's also.
10 seconds remaining.
Do you like the fact that because they have 23rd pick, you don't see the mid matchup? Go for the
5
Viper.
seconds
Doesn't
remaining.
have too many lane counters.
If they go Lina now, I think AG is in a little bit of trouble, to be honest. Lina owns Phoenix, owns Luna, owns Viper.
Do you feel like they need a little bit more of a carrier? A hero for Lifestealer to infest into though, like this type of hero, like a Spirit S that he can just.
I think it can be the Lion later on when you get this fast Blink Dagger. Sure, Lion might die, but you're still providing a good taxi opportunity. I just feel like Lina right now, they don't have any way to deal with her. And you have Lina, Lifestealer, transitioning into the late game. You have Timbersaw to sort of frontline for you, if you can even call it that in this game. They have way too much damage against him. I don't really see a whole lot of other stuff that is great. Like you could pick Death Prophet, but DP, they have so much damage that you might also just die. I think you want something that hits from further away.
It's quite good to deal with the Supernova as well, the Lina. I mean, you've already got the Lifestealer for that, but having an extra hero can definitely make the fights a lot easier now for Jackie.
Yeah, it just feels like Fearless in this team doesn't really have any sort of farm priority. So is it even his type of hero? I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
him play a lot of Lina.
he can definitely play the Lina, but you're right. Like it doesn't feel like he's often DP, DK, Storm, Conquer.
What about Darkseer mid again? It owns Viper.
Does it actually? Are you
Yeah,
sure?
just Einshell the creep waves. They can't do anything.
It's pretty nice with Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's good against Luna as well.
You may now select
So
your heroes.
they go the route of the carrier for the Lifestealer, but
Yeah,
that lane doesn't look too
it's
fun.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got the good trusty jungle to fall back to. So it's alright, but Lifestealer, I don't know. I just don't believe in Viper as a hero. I always just see it own early, first 20 minutes, and then just falls off. Becomes paper plane. Like Storm, Lifestealer, if they ever jump the Viper, he's just dead, I think. They have no save.
This seems like unless Fearless gets incredibly bodied in the laning stage, he should have a very, very solid game. I mean, maybe Mermaid Guy builds into an ATOS just because of the lack of control, but great versus the Willow, great versus the Phoenix. You have these two very key supports that deal a lot of impact in team fights, and if you can burst them down to start with the Infest Bomb, then it's really going to set you up for a solid fight.
To be fair, though, we have seen Fearless get bodied quite a lot lately.
Yes, we have.
Especially today, his Sand King. Now, even with Darkseid, he got bodied as well, right?
Yeah, he.
So maybe going through a little bit of a rough patch, but Storm Spirit definitely here to look out for this game. Like Timbersaw is completely countered. I don't expect too much from him. And Lifesteal can't really do a whole lot, so Storm will have to be the man running around, making some chaos happen, especially early on in the game.
Guess another thing to look at is, I mean, it is a position 5 Grimstroke, but if Grimstroke does get that farm, I mean, you've got the Aghanim's potential against the Luna. That's always going to be really nice as well. So just more of this late game potential.
I'm still wondering why teams just don't pick Lina. I feel like he was so broken.
It's broken. It's so
like
nuts.
Lina is way better than Viper in any aspect.
Yep.
Like, isn't Lina just a way better Viper?
Yes. I'm just trying to see.
Like,
I
why
mean,
would you ever go Viper over Lina if there's a choice?
both their
like, you
lanes
have
are really
way more
good.
magic damage. You have way more right click damage. You scale way better. You clear waves better. Like, I can see, of course, why you go Storm over Lina. But Viper? Really?
This is a team that like kind of their more annoying heroes to pick up. Viper definitely fulfills that role, to say the least. As we always see Mermaid Dire on some of the tricky heroes to verse, but again, I mean, the issue is this hero definitely does fall off, and I mean, you kind of have to itemize and kind of skill build as well with your talents to try and at least have somewhat of a decent time in the late game. But I don't know how much I feel about the Viper. What do you think though? Because as the offlane Viper, because we were seeing that for quite some time, and then it feels like maybe teams just started to recognize how to beat the Viper in the offlane.
Offlane Viper, I think it's still okay, but it's sort of the same thing where other offlaners just do way more. That's also a reason why I don't like Timbersaw too much compared to like a Mars. They just don't offer any utility. Like, it's just damage. Viper just offers damage. Same with Timbersaw, just damage. Like, heroes that offer teamfight and stuns, they're always gonna be good. But heroes that only offer damage, if you have a bad early game, you can't really transition into a good mid game. There's just no comeback factor.
Yeah, when you're all in this damage department, if you fall heavily behind, then there's nothing you're able to do to offer your team, and that's where we see kind of the flexibility come through. You're having multiple ways to help out the team, even if you're behind. You can kind of be depressed, having a crap game, but you know, at least you're getting involved, maybe chucking out a stun here, a little bit of team fight, always helps.
Yeah. Also have to see how the Slaughter is gonna do. Like, it's pretty good against the melee heroes, of course, but Lifestealer, the new one especially, he can sustain there no problem, I believe. At least until 6. You just need to go into fast chainmail, get that armor up. You should be able to life leech with Feast.
Do they have a stronger lane with the Grimstroke Lifestealer versus the Phoenix and Slaughter? Because Phoenix early on can kind of be pressured.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Lifestealer won't really skill Rage for quite a while. So the Fire Spirits are really gonna pose a problem to him when he wants to just try to fight the Slaughter. So I do think the Dire lane is a little bit stronger probably until the levels go higher and some items come for the Lifestealer.
Yeah, well, it definitely feels like, I mean, Dire, they've got a couple of these team fight abilities, but you're very vulnerable to... Jack might be vulnerable to leveling up Rage here.
Oh no,
and, that's not good.
That's the worst ability you can possibly go for. Well, at least now he won't have the problem with the Fire Spirits, I guess.
Yep, there's silver linings here. Not that he can spam the ability too often.
Pretty cheap. 75 mana. Well, it costs 150 mana actually on max level now. Damn. It's a lot of mana.
It's a lot of mana. Doesn't have too high intel gain, so it's gonna hurt him a little bit there. But so we're speaking about this mid matchup kind of in the draft. I mean, it does feel like Mermaid Dire and the Viper, always traditionally known to be quite the strong laning stage hero. Do you like that he hasn't gone for Nether Toxin level 1? Because I see a lot of mid lane Vipers do that, just secure their 2 and completely bully out the opposition 2 under the tower.
I think it makes a lot of sense against Storm because he always has to come in close for the remnants. So it's much easier to get those stacks up. And he's going full lane control build. Even goes into corrosive, no toxin at all. And you can already see he's struggling quite a bit. 100 gold away from the bottle. Okay, now 20 gold away. But the lane is only going to get harder from here.
Would have been nice to see if Army Geniuses blocked that small camp, but again, teams are really putting a lot of emphasis on that. I mean, it does take a little bit of time, I mean, whether it's 2 minutes, potentially 3 from a sentry to get delivered to unblock a camp like that, which is going to be really important for a Storm who will not have a fun time in this lane.
Yeah.
Mastros, he gets first blood. Okay. UK just caught out of position there. I think there was just a hex into Timber Chain, and Mastros, that's a great first blood to pick up here in a game where he's against a lot of counters.
It's an easy one. A little bit unexpected too. I thought he would be struggling up there a little bit more.
Q though. Might be in
Struggling.
trouble. DB's got another round of the beam, but Mastros simultaneously is also stacking up his own damage. Just misses the angle for the Timber Chain. Army Geniuses.
Bot lane at the same time. Bash coming through.
It's a 0. Oh, just gets the ink spell, but Lim is level 2, can dive on forward here, and now Wami still got another round of the abilities available, so it's a big kill for Army Genius Defiance, try and start to snowball their bottom lane.
Yeah, can't think. But to I don't know, like this Rachel one really ruined the lane for them. Top lane Q again, potentially in trouble. One more beam.
DB's got an extra point in it this time. Q, can he get back to safety? Stick
now
charges
Masaros in
enough,
trouble.
and now Masaros has got the Whirling Death level up instead of an extra point of reactive armor, looking for that damage in a fighting lane, and it might be handy. What a play! Drops the Iron Branch. Masaros super cute with the Timber early.
Yeah, it's probably his best hero as well. Fearless, getting poisoned up. Oh, it's gonna be fine. But having to TP back to base at level 4 is a big problem.
Radiant's middle tower
Bot lane
is
as
under
well,
attack.
Lifestealer he's okay. But I feel like they would have won the lane actually if he didn't have skill at Rage level 1.
He does at least have that chainmail though, like you were saying, if he's able to get this at a decent level. I mean, he's already got 11 armor at the moment here for Jackie, because he bring a protection, double branch as well, so a lot of emphasis on trying to mitigate the Slardar's impact.
Yeah.
Dire's
Storm
middle tower is under
is
attack.
now a full level behind the Viper. He has to be very careful that he doesn't get caught out of position. Does he have a TP? He doesn't have a TP currently. And the Viper is seeing that he's farming his camp. And he's making his way over.
Fearless. Oh.
Radiant's middle tower is
So
under
much
attack.
time being wasted though. He's just not hitting any creeps on the Storm, and I mean his lane's continuing to look devastating. Should
What is
know
he
that
running
ward's on the
around?
high ground.
Come to the corner, Fearless, your TP!
What?
Oh,
Radiant's courier has
What?
been killed.
Is Storm gonna gang bottom or what is he doing?
This-
Fearless is crazy, man.
Ah.
I guess no one wants to lay middle anymore.
Top lane again. Well, this is where all the action is so far. It's UK, I mean, just gets a Curse Crown off, but I mean, it's on the line instead of Masteros, so the Timber still freely able to use these abilities, but he does still have to keep cautious about giving up a big kill here. I mean, he's already got a 3-0 start, so if he gives that killing spree over, it might slow down his game.
Stupendous.
Yeah. With great power comes great
Dire's
responsibility.
courier has been killed.
This ring of health early is really cool on Masteros. I mean, they don't really have the damage to burst him. It's a lot of chip with the beam, along with the Dark Willow. It's just full survivability at the moment.
Yeah, he needs it anyway to go into a hood later on. So much health regen. 28.
Lim might turn it back around on set 0 actually. Instant silence. Gonna be able to get rid of the sun ray. Jackie needs to stick on his target. Now with the bonus movement speed, the rage. With the help of set 0. And now Lim's gonna be careful too. They've got the ink swell. Jackie is gonna drop his own little spray on the ground. And get a couple kills across the map. As we do see though, Viper, rotation up to the top side of the map, bringing down Q, but this is giving space to Fearless, and honestly, I think you're happy with that if you're the Lion, as Fearless needs to catch up.
Yeah, 100%. He has been struggling quite a bit, and
middle tower is under attack.
this is gonna help out a lot. And Timbersaw, of course, did kill the Luna.
That's a fat stack for Fearless.
Luna is struggling like mad too. And yeah, it's a mad stack too. Not -7 though. He's leaving the creeps. Get some item drops. Very, very good.
Boop. That's nice. Take the Fairy's Trinket.
Probably the best one for him.
Rest in peace, Jelly.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that was my favorite by far.
Just crazy T1. This mid lane tower has taken a lot of damage. Would you like to see maybe some rotations from the Dire supports to secure an early objective?
It's tough to kill the Storm though. And then the rotations can come in and kill them quite easily. It's probably better to focus on like the Slaughter lane, for example, because you can actually kill the Lifestealer with the Viper rotation.
And this lane gets even more difficult now to play in as soon as Warming hits level 6. It's a huge power spike for the Slaughter. 10 minus armor is so ridiculous at this stage in the game.
Yeah, it really is. How much does Lifestealer have? Like 12? 18?
Yeah, he's got a crap load of armor too. Oh, mid lane.
He went for the...
Fearless? This is a big kill to find. Yeah, Q's gonna pick it up on the Viper. Fearless went back to base, got a free refresh on the health, the mana, and the support's also giving him some assistance there to bring down the Viper and more. Yes, your lane went very well versus the Storm, but the fact that, you know, he's sitting still relatively well in the net worth is a little bit worrying here for me.
Yeah, but it's also expected because you pick Viper to dominate lane, but Storm is gonna have so much more impact than you. Like,
Dire's middle tower
you know me.
is under
I'm a
attack.
line
Q,
hater. Oh,
he's
finger!
level 6 already.
Yeah, he's a lot of
Viper just
level.
TP'd down as well. The main Dire, he's got the
Okay, gotta
TP
be
back
careful.
up. They're actually going to cancel UK's because Mastros is, well, forced pretty much to cancel. So
Look at
much
Grim.
damage.
Level 6 as well.
Jesus. Yeah, these supports incredibly high level. The lanes from Motivate going a lot better than what I was expecting here. 2,000 net worth lead, 9 kills earlier. But make Dire, we saw the TPs previously. They know he's stuck down here, and they also know the supports
Is under attack.
unable to protect him, as that is another kill involvement from Fearless. In fact, he is the one to claim it.
Yeah, well played, good rotations for him, and now he's pretty much on par with the Viper in terms of net worth. His Orchid is pretty close at this point already as well. I don't know how the supports of Trust are always this high level.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Are they 2, 2, and 4 on the line?
Dire's
1, 1,
bottom
and
tower
4 on the
is under
Grimstroke.
attack.
Are they just playing a lot more around for pulls? I mean, I wasn't really watching too much of that bottom lane, at least how the Grimstroke was
Dire's
playing.
structures are fortified.
Ah, good question. I'm gonna have to pay some more attention to that. But yeah, Timbersaw at this point, like they have a lot of counters to him, but if he's snowballing like this, and
TP?
Luna, they're gone.
They do have their own heroes trying to connect up with the Luna, but they're a little bit too late to keep him alive. They'll get their own rebuttal on the kill of the Grimstroke, but everyone else will make it away.
Yeah, this is making it look too easy right now.
Oh. The main guy went boots of travel, okay.
Yeah. Not a biggest fan. It's nice on Viper, but it's not really what the situation called for, I don't think.
It's just now, it feels like at a stage where, I mean, Army Geniuses are going to have to always make sure DB has a free way to farm the Ancients. I'm curious actually, do you like the Mask of Madness on Luna? Because I've been hearing a lot of people say that they're starting to fall out of favor of this Mask of Madness on her.
A lot of people like to prioritize the Dragonlance over it. I personally quite like Mom, especially if you don't find a possessed mass, just cause it gives you the sustain you need. Or Limb just going down. It's more, going for more. Nah, Starter's too fast. The
Dire's
sustain
top
is
tower
very
is under
important if you want to
attack.
be accelerating your farm, because you don't want to be sitting in a spot where you're half health when you're getting invaded or anything like that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Don't have to bring out as much regen as well. Means just spending more gold on hitting these item timings, getting gold experience.
And for me, I'm always looking for the
Dire's
possessed
middle
mass. If I don't get it, I'd
tower has
probably go
fallen.
Mom. So an easy way to do it is you just start with a Band of Elven Skin, because then you can either go into Dragonlance or Yasha with
Jackie,
that.
they lead
Ooh!
him with the crush. Wami's able to have the full control key thanks to the terrorize, and Jackie just farming
Didn't
away for the
react.
Tower is
team.
under attack.
Yeah, did not react in time. If he dodges that stun, he's gonna be A-okay. But didn't manage to.
It's like another spot though, like Lim. Another
Finger.
person running into a very peculiar spot. They will not require the finger for this. MG.Trust level 9 and the pure damage through the roof at the moment for the Timbersaw, and he's opting for an incredibly early Lotus Orb.
And then BKB. And he knows this hero very well. He knows what he needs. Storm already Orc completed. Brown Boots Orchid. Let's go.
Lifestealer again. This is a little bit more difficult this time.
He
'Cause the-
TP to the lane he shouldn't be in again.
Dire's structures
like it.
are fortified.
There's gonna be backup coming now.
One hero's going to TP directly on top of Army Geniuses. Fearless will start on top of the Luna, but if they don't burst Luna down through the Orchid, she's going to be able to get the ultimate off, and that she does. Awkward start there from Fearless, but now with MG.Trust showing up, this Timbersaw has been a staple for them in this game one. 7-0-1. Kuzos going to continue to tally up his kills on the scoreboard. But make Dire, it's A-okay.
I've been seeing a lot of carries TP to the safe lane again this late into the game
Money changes hands.
from a lot of teams, and they're always baiting like the other players into bad situations. And he's not supposed to be there. It's Timber's lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Is it understandable, though, if the rest of Motivate are going to bait the lifesteal and try and
Radiant's
protect that
middle
tower?
is under attack.
I mean, you can just walk top and TP bottom if need be, because like you're still sure you didn't die, but your game is still a lot slower than it could be.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Just a natural farming progression for this hero, like kind of wanting to play more around the Ancients still.
Dire's bottom tower
And
has
just there's
fallen.
just more camps to farm on the opposite side, anyways.
Dire's bottom tower is
So-
under
Yeah,
attack.
so far so good. 4K lead still, but Fearless again. No, he had a pretty good recovery, but he just stops farming every game that we
Dire's
see him.
bottom tower is under attack.
This is kind of the issue with going Brown Boots Orchid. I mean, if you don't find kills with it, it's an item that really progresses in the hunting aspect, but I mean, nothing like a Kai or anything to kind of have this steroid in your farm.
It's probably also the team though, like the playstyle of the team. Masteros is one of the greediest threes in SEA for sure.
They do always like to prioritize Jackie as well with the late game win condition. I mean, Motivate naturally is a team. They've always thrived late game. Their execution has been on another level, but you know, Jackie, one of the better carriers as well.
Yep, definitely. What is he going for? Is it a basher?
Planning.
Is
It
Sanj?
is.
Sanj
It's a Sanj, okay. I was getting excited for a second there.
It's early basher. Jump in. Drop the supernova. A lot of commitment to bring down MG.Trust. This is a big target. The bounty of 521 gold getting claimed there with that kill. They've got to drop the Phoenix Egg, but they're more than truly happy with that. And now for Timber, like in a game like this where we were saying there is a lot of big counters, I feel like it could kind of start to snowball out of favor for MG.Trust if it gets a couple more deaths on the board.
It's a very tough Timber game. for sure. It's also why it's going into the early BKB. He's gonna need it.
Zip! Whoa, what'd I miss?
See, does feel like Radiant, like another issue is like, how do you actually take objectives? Lifestealer takes a very long time till he even feels comfortable with dealing mediocre damage to towers. So sieging from them is a lot more difficult. They're gonna have to really rely on getting these kills and then transition that then into the damage.
Yeah, he'll need some more items to be able to do that damage. Maybe minute 20, the shard on Timber. Probably gonna prioritize the BKB over
Blink
though.
in, Q. Burst spike onto 2, but they get the crush. Now with the control, Fearless has got to be careful. The extra stun's not there because Q's quick reaction to the Hex locks in Wami's Slaughter. So it allows Fearless to be able to zip away. And all in all, they trade a 1-for-1 for the supports. They are not really slowing down Luna. They're not trying to even think about infiltrating through to the triangle camp where Luna is catching up in farm. I mean, 3 deaths this game. It's not pretty, at least with the KDA, but DB's closing in on a BKB.
Now, once that's up, they don't really have anything that goes through it, and they do still have the Slaughter. Sure, Lifestealer has a lot of armor. How much is he sitting at now? 21 when the arm is activated, or 25 even. But it's gonna. There's a lot of mitigation coming through from that Slaughter, of course. It's gonna be minus 15 once he hits 12, and it's gonna really help Luna in that bad carry matchup.
Yeah, we saw for such a long time where having a Slaughter on your team compared to the opposition, I mean, just going late game felt much easier because of how you were able to have this steroid in a way. Just minus 20 armor potentially, you know, even 24 if you go for that 20 talent. So it just, as a position one, yeah, you love to have someone who can enable you to do so much more physical damage. So if we get to that stage, I mean, you know, DB could really be ripping through heroes.
Yeah, the gold lead is steadily decreasing for Trust. They had 5k, now only 3k. Luna's just out farming the Lifestealer. Viper's doing pretty decently as well on his way to BKB. Like, Viper has a lot of good talents, okay? Like, you have an attack range talent, attack speed talent, damage talent. So you can scale into the late game if you itemize for it. But will he get there? Because Slaughter also enables Viper, not just Luna.
Yep. With the Storm lineup, do you really like when a team drafts some way to be able to take Roshan as well? Because I feel like this is a hero that can really snowball out of control with an early Aegis, because he's definitely by far one of the best Aegis carriers.
Yeah, if not the best even.
Yep.
Like, I like Storm with heroes like Troll and stuff. Whereas makes a lot of sense. But, I mean, Lifestealer Storm is also a classic though.
It is. It's just like, how do you take Roche though? You don't have like a position 3 that can enable you, or like a 4 with some minus armor, like say like a Snapfire, you know, or like no one's going Medallion or anything. Not that these supports really, you never see like a Grimstroke and a Lion want to pick up a Medallion, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you just, like, Aegis on Storm, you can really take over games with that.
Yeah, I mean, they could take it after one team fight. It's not the fastest, but
Dire smoked up at the moment. They're gonna run into Q, but with the ward into the blink away, they are retreating underneath Dire's vision. So unfortunately, the smoke is not gonna work in the favor of Army Geniuses. They get a little bit more control back of their top jungle. There's also a DD down bot, so we'll see how they're looking to take another re-engagement. Do they have any secondary smoke? They do not.
Luna with DD and BKB.
I've been wanting
She
this.
is really scary in that next team fight. She has Mom and Dragonlance as well.
Yeah, 2,000 health with Strength Treads and the also the Van Brace in Strength, so they might just try and brute force down this tier 1. Not that it has too much health remaining. Even Jackie's looking to rejoin them here. Only one ultimate orb completed, but everyone's gonna zip in the middle of the fight. Who gets the initial burst? But they break down DB! This Luna didn't get BKB off at all. The prioritization from Motivate to target the Luna before she's able to get the magic immunity. And now it's going to work heavily in their favor, so they can chase back the Viper. The Sunray's giving them an extra little bit of health, but that's just not enough as they still secure the kill into the TP out from Lim. At least the Phoenix will make it. I don't think DP's going to have the same fate, however. Unless the Shadow Realm to the TP, the AoE damage, it's not enough.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This was the strong time. This was the moment to turn the game around for them. But Luna just being a little bit too comfortable, too confident in her positioning, gets taken down. And this game is snowballing really hard in the favor of Trust now.
They're still going to try and
Gonna
defend
save
the
it,
T2.
Dire's middle
Jackie protected with the Lotus Orb. DD pop now with the BKB. Oh,
Wow.
that is a horrific pass. 2-minute sequence there from Army Geniuses. They take a really bad fight around mid, losing DB. They lose the tier 2 BKB and also the double damage ring completely wasted.
What made him do that? There was one chakram flying his way. And he's like, oh, damn. Storm Spirit again? Nice.
We have revenge tonight.
Mind you, Storm also has the BKB now. Very strong. He's still going in on Masaros.
This
Fine.
dude's got big balls. Like, hey, you guys unable to do anything to me right now. Even though they got quite the lineup to deal with the Timber. I mean, look at how he's itemized. Lotus Orb, almost BKB. Essence Ring is great on this hero too.
Yeah, it's a lot of armor, a lot of health, and some magic immunity soon as well.
Dire's top tower is under
40
attack.
Yeah,
6
Storm already
armor.
has his BKB. Lifestealer has inbuilt Rage, of course, finished his Skadi. This game is looking really tough now.
Dire's top tower
And
is under attack.
Skadi's just so good against heroes like Luna. Like, you just can't ever fight the Lifestealer now head on. Together with the Ghoul Frenzy, of course, it's a
Dire's
50%
top tower
movement
has
slow.
fallen.
Yeah, there's no way you're able to reset out of that. I mean, you just have
And
to kind of...
75% movement slow on Luna. She can't move.
Oh boy.
Dire's
You're
top
piercing
tower
through
is
BKB
under
as well with the
attack.
Scotty. So yeah, it just feels like you're pretty much committed to a
Radiant's
fight.
bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant,
Yeah.
they're smoked up. Who can they find?
The very early Inks, well.
They're gonna run into Lim here. I don't think they saw him on the stair. Mastros will pop the smoke. They have to rely on Fearless, but that's a long-range zip it if he's gonna go for it. Q's in a better position to hunt down the Phoenix.
Yeah. Fearless dewarding the ward, making sure that he's ready for the next assault. But they're all just sitting in base. All four of them. Getting completely outfarmed. I just feel it's bad now. Like, whenever you're in this position, you kind of know that you're losing. And you're losing more and more every minute that passes.
Yeah, they're forced to make a play, but I mean, the Phoenix can't connect with this smoke. And I feel like you want the Supernova, at least the Sun
Dire's
Ray as
middle tower
well.
is under attack.
Are they going Roche?
But they can't
Okay.
kill anyone anymore. Oh, they're going straight Roche. Alright, that's actually a very good play.
I think Lion pinged it. Someone pinged. I don't know if it was Lion.
It's too late.
Storm?
Gone.
Is he gonna scout? Oh, start zipping. Oh, no, it's an illusion. Don't use your abilities. It wastes a little bit of time for them to not take Roshan. Storm zip. Aegis just picked up from DB. But now, but the damage still with the first life. The finger committed. He's got a BKB once he respawns. Fearless has wasted a lot of mana now with the BKB as well, but the targeting through Mermaid Dire as Jackie is locked onto the Viper. They have to turn away. Dodge out of the Supernova stun. Now go back in with everything wasted on Army Geniuses. But you gotta be careful about a high ground as DB stands his ground. But the Eclipse pop, they're not gonna matter. An Infest bomb on top of the backline. That's too much damage. Or the Pure rips apart Army Geniuses. And now Mastros is gonna follow up. Triple for your Timber. Jackie's gonna get involved as well. A full 5-man wipe as Motivate. They just get to the pit fast enough.
Yeah, they were not aware it's an illusion. Wasted a lot of time trying to kill it. And
Dire's
as you
middle
said, they
tower
make it
is
there
under
just
attack.
barely in time.
Dire's
Take a very
structures
convincing
are
team fight.
fortified.
And Jackie's just too much to deal with right now. Masteros as well has way too much farm with its Timbersaw. Like, counters to Timbersaw are good, but if it's all magic, he has a BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under
He's a little bit
attack.
too farmed, unfortunately.
I mean, they picked this hero so early on in the draft, and Army Genius has had all the answers. But Mastros is Timbersaw, and there's a reason why people are first phase banning it. He is, like you were saying, I mean, this is probably his best hero, and the fact that he's 11, 1, and 5 against the lineup that he's versing is just stellar.
Yeah, might be time to go back to the, banning at first phase again.
I think it is. I'm trying to remember, what were the bans first phase? There were some interesting ones.
I
Probably-
don't quite remember.
Probably cycle into the Timber in that one. I don't know if you want to verse it again. But again, like, you're versing all these heroes that you don't want to play into. And you see when anyone falls really low, guess what? You've just got a lifestealer that can give you so much bonus health. 1200 with maxed out Infest.
Yeah, Lifestealer is a pretty damn good hero when you have no counters to it. As a Slaughter, it used to be counter to it, but he feels so useless now. Like, if you don't dominate him in lane, which is very hard to do now with the new Feast and Ghoul Frenzy, you're just kind of becoming a liability. Plus, as I said, they don't have the best Slaughter heroes, right? They don't have a PA, they don't have a Draw Ranger, they don't have anything like that.
Yeah, you kind of need this drawn out fight where you're hitting multiple heroes with the glaives, but in drawn out fights you need your BKBs because a lot of the damage is coming from the spells. I mean, Fearless, Timber, Lion as well. So like, it's how do you really take engagements once the BKBs expire on Army Geniuses? It's just a little bit awkward.
Real question is, when does Trust feel
Dire's
strong
top
enough to
tower
try
is
and
under
break high
attack.
ground?
Well, you don't have a way to BKB Pierce Lifestealer. Maybe he's almost got Satanic. Satanic in 20. There's a DD, so maybe with the DD they might even think about tickling the high ground a little bit.
Yeah, Storm DD could cause a lot of damage.
They
But actually,
yeah,
he
Jackie
Dire's
bottled it.
top tower is under
Okay.
attack.
Tickle Monster upgraded. Tickle Machine.
What's a machine now? What's the cost of a tickle machine?
Wait, what?
How much does a tickle machine cost?
Hey, tickle machines are great. You should buy one.
You're dodging the question.
No, I'm not gonna answer. I'll answer later in private. This is classified information, my man.
Over here.
Can't let the viewers know. They're gonna
Private
jump
smoke.
Timber.
Oh!
The chain control needs to be perfect. Q's gonna try to disrupt that with the Hex, and it is. Timber's down. And now with that pick off, might give Army Geniuses an opportunity to get outside the base, D-Ward, get their own vision up as well.
A little bit too greedy there, Masteros. Probably shouldn't show yourself alone from the tier 3.
Yeah, that's not the spot you want to be in, although Motivate still have 3, make it 4 with Jackie nearby. Straight on top of DB with the finger again! This Luna is just getting bursted. She's gone full glass cannon build. I mean, there were kind of extra stat items after the Dragonlance BKB, and it's not enough. Do you feel like she maybe was needing like a Skadi or something?
I mean, the items in general are pretty weird. Usually go Dragonlance or Mom. He went for both. And to BKB, Daedalus.
Money changes hands.
And usually you see like some sort of Saint Shasha or something in between there. It's 2000 health Luna.
Dire's
Not,
bottom tower is under
not the
attack.
most survivable.
Even that just little bit of status resistance from the Sandunyasha could have been
Dire's
nice.
bottom tower
Extra
has fallen.
stats. I mean, Radiant don't have the greatest control, so to prevent the short amount that they do to get the BKB off is Always something you got to keep in mind. Motivate, they're going to smoke up directly on top of the barracks here. Jackie's got the BKB. They're wanting to jump the Slaughter, take away this amplification with the Corrosive Haze, and they will do just that. No buyback available here for Wummy. Now they're going to get to work on the objectives. MG.Trust still without the shard completed, but Jackie, this DD is also going to expire as well. Quick fingers with the Shadow. Not going to find this Hex connection. Jackie still feeling pretty safe to be able to siege down the objectives. Going to be careful once the Rage expires, but they don't have to keep in mind about the Starter. And there's no way you can gap close the distance once you're retreating away. It's just a slow poke and pod with the BKB. Fearless has to reset.
They're looking for the range racks.
Radiant's top tower.
Slaughter's up in a couple seconds here. Motivate, you got a big lead here. How long do you want to stick around for, though? Full set of racks, and looks like there's the answer. They're happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure though how the Dire fights back. Their life stage is unstoppable at this point. They all are really when they're sticking together. Because Lifesteal will always heal the target they're trying to burst. So he'll get his BKB off. And a tough spot.
Yeah, Jackie is, at this stage,
Not in my
is he unkillable?
nature,
I mean, Skadi, Satanic, Sunjin Yasha with the Titan Sliver.
Stupendous.
He's got 34% status resistance.
Radiant are
It's, I wouldn't say unkillable, but like they have to chain everything perfectly, which is also why I hate status resistance. Like all your knowledge about chaining stuff is practically out the window.
It's a crazy concept.
Dire are scanning.
Crazy, crazy concept. You could argue one of the most broken ones, if it potentially is the most. It's quite silly. Wonder if we'll see some rework coming through with the next hopeful patch before TI. Maybe some work to the status resistance. That'd always be nice.
Yeah, like remove it, for example.
Just give it the old necro book treatment. Just yeet it out of the game.
I mean, that's what I did to the stats, right? Where like all the stats gave like spell amp and then bonus movement speed and stuff like that. Magic resistance.
Yeah, that was. they thought they wanted to test that out, and then they saw that, oh yeah, this is kind of nutty. Let's just get rid of it. 'Cause everyone's just building so many stats. How long ago was that? Was it like a year and a half, maybe a bit more?
I don't remember,
Yeah.
but every strength here had like 50% resistance.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant.
Looking for me?
Aegis, they actually give it over to Jackie. I guess he is the high ground sieger, so even though Storm's one of the best carriers, it's going to make it a lot easier for him just to be able to siege up this high ground. MG.Trust also has the Aghanim Shard, so that's even going to become easier. It will take them a lot of time. Just a slow poke and pod, rage, dip out, reset once it's off cooldown, come back up, rinse and repeat.
Probably do it when back to protection is off though.
Yeah.
But the
Radiant's
entire rage
bottom
and the back to
tower is
protection.
under attack.
They're just making it a little bit more difficult. Try again. Crush will miss this time. Fearless gonna jump at DB. Fast fingers on the BKB, but that was kind of preemptive here. Maybe getting in his own head a little bit before he's been costly without using the BKB at the right timing, and now he's not going to have it available if another big team fight breaks out. Jackie falling low, but the instant rage, healed back up. Still got the Satanic to be able to work around with as well. The Supernova, they're looking to reset here. It's a great curse crown, but it doesn't matter because there's absolutely zero follow-up from Army Geniuses. Now without the ultimate, Swami, blink on forward. He's got to be careful because he just fought back, and Wummy is in a horrible position. They'll commit the finger of death. Meanwhile, Fearless along with MG.Trust tears apart the backline.
Dire's top
As
tower
Motivate.Trust
is under
will end this game with a team wipe.
Yeah,
Radiant
was
victory.
never gonna happen. I quite disliked the draft, to be honest. Like Viper last pick didn't really, what's the saying, tickle my fancies.
Yes.
Don't know why I don't just go Lina. It's better in every single way.
Yeah, I mean, you did okay in the lane, and Fearless made some pretty solid rotations to at least offset some of
It's
the
not
weak.
enough though.
Yeah.
Like doing okay in lane is not enough when you pick Viper. You need to stomp it, and it's just so hard to do with all these water runes and bounty runes, and then you're a Viper instead of something that actually, you know, is not a paper plane.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be some consideration here with we're seeing a lot of heroes at least have some potential to be able to scale into the late game. And when you can't do that, again, it's just on the timer that we've been speaking about. We saw it a lot yesterday. We saw it a lot in our early games. I mean, if you are unable to play against the timer, then you're one core down. And in the end, Army Geniuses were also a lot of cores down as well because DB didn't have too fun of a time. I mean, 1, 7, and 5 on the Lunar, but just overall Motivate, they had their number in this game one. We'll see if Army Geniuses are going to be able to hit back or if Motivate can even up, sorry, I should say, can take the series 2-0. Find out shortly after a break.